Maya had always loved exploring. Even as a child, she would wander through the small hills near her village, imagining that she was discovering places no one had ever seen before. She enjoyed the quiet and the sense of adventure that came with being surrounded by nature. The rustling leaves, singing birds, and distant streams gave her a feeling of freedom that she could not find anywhere else. On this particular morning, she decided to go on a longer hike than usual. She packed her backpack carefully, making sure she had enough water, some snacks, a small flashlight, a notebook, and a pen. She wore comfortable boots and a light jacket, and she felt excited as she stepped onto the narrow forest path. The forest was calm, and sunlight filtered through the trees, creating patterns of light and shadow on the ground. Maya noticed small details around her. The way the moss grew on the old tree trunks, the shapes of the fallen leaves, and the songs of the birds as they moved from branch to branch. She breathed deeply, enjoying the smell of the earth mixed with the fresh scent of pine. Walking through the forest made her feel alive, and she often imagined that she could discover something extraordinary. After walking for a while, Maya reached a small hill and climbed to the top. From there, she could see the forest stretching out in every direction. The trees seemed endless, but something unusual caught her eye. Through a gap in the trees, she saw the roof of a large building. It was covered in rust and partially hidden by vines, but its shape was clear enough to make her curious. She had never seen anything like it in this part of the forest. Her heart began to beat faster with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Maya carefully made her way down the hill, moving toward the building. As she approached, she saw more details. The walls were cracked, the windows were broken, and the paint had peeled away long ago. A faded sign hung above the gate, almost unreadable. She could just make out some letters and words that hinted it had been a factory. She stepped closer and saw the words Meat Processing Factory, though the letters were worn and faded. Maya felt a shiver run through her. The building looked abandoned, and yet it seemed so large and strong. Curiosity overwhelmed her caution. She wondered why no one had come to this place in years. The forest had clearly taken over, covering parts of the walls with vines and moss. The air around the building smelled old, like a mixture of damp wood and rust. Maya's mind began to imagine what this factory might have looked like when it was full of workers, machines, and activity. She could almost hear the faint echoes of voices and the clanging of metal in her imagination. Maya stepped closer to the gate. It was locked with a rusty chain, but she noticed a side door slightly ajar. It looked like no one had used it for a long time. She pushed the door gently and it creaked open, revealing the dark interior. A cool, musty breeze escaped from inside, brushing her face. Maya took a deep breath and felt a mix of fear and excitement. She had always been brave when exploring, but this building felt different. It held a secret and she wanted to know what it was. Inside, the factory was quiet. Sunlight came through the broken windows, lighting up dust particles that floated in the air. The floor was uneven, covered with broken tiles and old debris. Maya could see machines that had not moved in years, their metal surfaces rusted and worn. Hooks hung from the ceiling, swaying slightly as if moved by some invisible hand. Maya shivered for a moment but smiled. The factory had a strange beauty. It told a story of work, industry, and life that had disappeared long ago. She walked slowly, careful not to trip over broken floorboards. Her footsteps echoed through the empty halls. Maya stopped to touch some of the machines, imagining how they had once operated. Large cutting tables, empty racks, and old storage containers filled the space. Some of the machines were covered in dust, while others still had small bits of grime that showed their last use. Maya could feel the history in her hands, and it made her heart race with excitement. As she explored further, Maya noticed papers and notebooks scattered on a shelf. She picked one up carefully. The pages were yellowed and fragile, but she could still make out handwriting and numbers. It seemed to be records of the factory's work from many years ago. Maya read a few lines, learning about the operations and the people who had worked there. She realized that this place had been very busy in its time, full of life and energy. Now it was silent, except for the wind and the occasional creak of the old building. Maya's curiosity grew as she moved deeper into the factory. She noticed a small door partially hidden behind a stack of wooden crates. The door looked newer than the others and stronger. It had a small metal handle and the edges were clean, as if someone had tried to hide it. Maya's heart began to race. There was something behind this door, something different from the rest of the factory. She felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. Her instincts told her to be careful, but her curiosity was stronger. She approached the door slowly and tried the handle. It was cold to the touch. When she pushed gently, the door opened slightly with a soft creak. A dark staircase led downwards. Maya paused and shined her flashlight toward the opening. The light showed a narrow stairwell descending into darkness. A chill ran down her spine. This was no ordinary part of the factory. It felt hidden, secret, and perhaps forgotten for a reason. Maya took a deep breath and steadied her hands. She reminded herself that she had explored many old places before, and she had always been careful. This was another adventure, another story waiting to be discovered. She made a note in her mind to explore the staircase carefully, step by step. The thought of discovering a hidden basement thrilled her, but she also knew she had to stay alert. The forest outside was quiet, and the factory seemed to hold its own life inside. Before she descended, Maya looked around the main floor one last time. Dust covered the machines, crates, and tables. Sunlight streamed through the broken windows, casting long shadows on the floor. She imagined workers moving around, machines clanging, and voices echoing through the halls. The contrast between the lively past and the silent present made the factory even more fascinating. Maya felt lucky to be one of the few people to see it in this state. Finally, she turned back to the staircase. She shone her flashlight carefully, examining each step. The stairs were wooden, worn from years of use, but still strong. She felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness as she placed her foot on the first step. The adventure she had dreamed of for so long was about to become real. Whatever was waiting in the basement, she knew it would be a discovery she would never forget. Maya whispered to herself, "Let's see what's down there," and took another step. The air grew cooler, and the shadows stretched along the walls. The staircase seemed to descend farther than she expected. Each step made a soft creak, echoing into the darkness below. Her heart beat faster with anticipation. The hidden basement called to her curiosity, promising secrets that had been locked away for years. As Maya continued down the stairs, she felt the excitement of exploration fill her completely. She knew that this day would be remembered for the rest of her life. She had found something extraordinary in the forest, a place where history and mystery met. The abandoned meat processing factory was no longer just a building. It was an adventure waiting to unfold. Maya smiled to herself, ready to face whatever lay ahead, knowing that her courage and curiosity had led her to this moment. Maya's footsteps echoed softly as she stepped into the factory's main hall. The sunlight streaming through the broken windows created strange patterns on the dusty floor. Every corner was covered in shadows, and she could see the remnants of the factory's past work. Rusted machines stood like silent sentinels, their metal surfaces worn from years of use. Wooden crates were stacked haphazardly, some tipped over, their contents long gone. She walked slowly, taking in every detail. The smell inside was a mix of old wood, rust, and the faint scent of metal. It was strong but not unpleasant. It reminded her of old buildings she had explored before, places that held stories waiting to be discovered. Maya's flashlight cut through the dim light, highlighting the intricate shapes of the machines and the tools left behind. Hooks dangled from the ceiling, swaying slightly as if moved by a ghostly hand, and the sound made her shiver slightly, though she smiled at her own nervousness. Maya reached a large table covered with dust and papers. She leaned closer to examine them. Old notebooks, boxes, and folders were scattered across the surface. She picked up a notebook carefully. The pages were yellowed and the ink was faded, but she could still make out numbers, words, and sketches. It seemed to be a record of the factory's daily work. She read some of the notes, which described machines, processes, and schedules. She realized that this factory had once been a place full of people, activity, and purpose. Now it was quiet, almost frozen in time. Her eyes wandered across the room, noticing details she had not seen before. A set of metal racks leaned against the wall, empty but sturdy. Large containers sat in corners, their lids rusted shut. The sunlight reflected on the floors, creating a pattern that made the space feel larger than it actually was. Maya could almost hear the sounds of the factory long ago, the rhythmic hum of machines, workers moving busily from one task to another, voices calling out instructions. The contrast between the lively past and the silent present filled her with wonder. Curiosity drove her further into the factory. She moved carefully, stepping over broken floorboards and avoiding loose metal pieces. Her flashlight revealed more machines, each with its own story. Some were large and complex with levers and wheels, while others were simple and functional. Maya touched a few gently, imagining the hands of workers who had operated them many years ago. Each machine seemed to whisper its history, telling her about the lives of the people who had once worked here. As she walked through the main hall, she noticed a stack of crates in one corner. Behind them was a small partially hidden door. It looked stronger than the others and cleaner, as if someone had tried to conceal it. Maya felt her heart race. She had a sense that this door led to something different, something special. She moved closer, her fingers brushing against the cold metal handle. Her curiosity was stronger than her fear, and she knew she had to see what lay behind it. Maya pushed the door gently. It opened with a soft creak, revealing a narrow staircase leading downwards. Darkness stretched before her, and the air coming from below felt colder. A musty scent filled her nose, stronger than the smell in the main hall. She shined her flashlight down the stairs, trying to see as far as possible. The steps were wooden and old, but they seemed solid enough to hold her weight. Maya took a deep breath, steadying herself. She reminded herself to move slowly and carefully. Step by step, she began her descent. Each step made a soft creak that echoed into the darkness. Shadows moved along the walls, creating strange shapes that seemed alive in her imagination. Her heart beat faster with every step, but she felt exhilarated. This was what she had come for. A real adventure, a secret hidden for years, waiting for someone brave enough to discover it. She told herself that curiosity and carefulness would guide her safely through this hidden part of the factory. At the bottom of the staircase, Maya found herself in a large basement. The room was wider than she had expected, and it seemed to stretch further into the darkness. Her flashlight revealed walls covered in white tiles, some cracked and dirty but still holding firm. Metal tables stood in rows, their surfaces worn but clean. The basement felt different from the rest of the factory. It seemed purpose-built, carefully organized, and clearly important. Maya could sense that this was a place where careful work had been done, a place where secrets had been kept. She stepped cautiously forward, examining the tables and equipment. Old jars sat on the shelves, some containing preserved samples, others empty. Maya frowned, wondering what they had been used for. Old lab equipment like scales, measuring tools, and containers filled other parts of the basement. It was clear that someone had done experiments here, but what exactly they were trying to accomplish was a mystery. Maya's mind raced with questions. Why was this basement hidden? Why had no one come here in years? A faint dripping sound echoed through the room, and Maya paused. The sound seemed to come from far away, bouncing off the tiled walls. Her flashlight revealed a small puddle on the floor. The basement was not completely dry, but the dampness added to the mysterious atmosphere. She moved closer to a row of shelves, examining the contents. There were papers, files, and notes that described various processes. Some were handwritten, others typed. She read a few lines, careful not to damage anything. It was clear that whoever had worked here had been very organized. As Maya continued to explore, she noticed shadows moving in strange patterns across the walls. The basement felt alive in its own way, though there was no one there. Her imagination ran wild with possibilities, but she reminded herself to stay focused and careful. This was a place of discovery, not danger, and she intended to learn as much as she could. She moved slowly, her flashlight scanning every corner. She found a small table in the far corner with more papers and a notebook. She opened it carefully and began to read. The notebook contained detailed descriptions of experiments, processes, and results. It seemed the factory had not only processed materials, but had also tried unusual methods to improve or change certain processes. Maya's curiosity grew even stronger. She wanted to understand the purpose of this basement and the work that had been done here. Suddenly, a sound made her jump. It was faint, but it came from deep within the basement. Maya held her breath, listening carefully. It was only the echo of her own movements, she realized, but her heart pounded anyway. The basement felt larger than it was, and every small sound seemed amplified. Maya took a deep breath and reminded herself that she had explored many old buildings before. This was another adventure, and she needed to be careful and patient. She moved to another corner of the basement and noticed a small door partially hidden behind some crates. This door was different from the rest, smaller and reinforced. Maya's curiosity was irresistible. She carefully pushed aside the crates and examined the door. It seemed to lead to an even deeper part of the basement. Her mind buzzed with excitement and a little fear. What could be behind this door? Was it another hidden room? She decided to make a note to return with more supplies if she wanted to explore it fully. Maya spent hours exploring the basement. She took notes, photographs, and examined as much as she could without disturbing anything too much. She wanted to preserve the secrets of the factory while satisfying her curiosity. Every corner of the basement revealed new details. The careful arrangement of tables, the notes in jars, the faint marks on the walls that hinted at careful work. She realized that this basement had been a place of careful thought and planning, not random activity. As the sun began to lower outside, Maya decided it was time to leave the basement. She slowly climbed the stairs, feeling the warmth of sunlight on her face again. She paused for a moment in the main hall of the factory, looking around. Everything seemed quiet, still, and mysterious. She felt a sense of respect for the place, understanding that it held secrets that few had ever seen. Maya stepped outside and took a deep breath of fresh air. The forest was calm and the sunlight felt warm on her skin. She looked back at the factory, feeling a mixture of excitement and wonder. The hidden basement had revealed just a part of its story, and she knew there was more to discover. She promised herself she would return one day, better prepared to explore further. But for now, she carried the thrill of discovery with her, knowing that she had uncovered something extraordinary. Her mind replayed the details of the basement, the tiles, the metal tables, the jars, and the mysterious notebooks. Each piece of the puzzle hinted at a story waiting to be told. Maya felt grateful for her courage and curiosity. She knew that her adventure was only beginning, and that the abandoned factory had many more secrets waiting for someone brave enough to find them. Maya walked back along the forest path, her heart still racing from the excitement of discovery. She thought about the hidden basement, its secrets, and the stories of the people who had once worked in the factory. She realized that every place, no matter how abandoned or forgotten, had a story. It just needed someone to look closely, someone with curiosity and patience. She smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment and wonder. The forest seemed even more magical as she walked. The sunlight filtered through the trees, the birds sang, and the breeze whispered around her. Maya knew that her discovery today was special. She had found something unique, something. Maya could not stop thinking about the small, reinforced door she had discovered in the basement of the abandoned factory. Even after walking back into the sunlight and feeling the warm breeze of the forest, her mind kept returning to the dark, mysterious space below the main hall. She knew that the main basement was only the beginning. Somewhere deeper, behind that hidden door, lay secrets waiting to be discovered. The next morning, Maya returned to the factory. This time she came prepared with extra supplies. She brought a stronger flashlight, gloves, a notebook, and a small camera to record everything she saw. The forest was alive with morning sounds, the calls of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the soft hum of insects. Maya's heart raced with anticipation. She had been thinking about this moment for days, planning how she would explore the hidden basement safely and carefully. When she arrived at the factory, it looked almost the same as the previous day, quiet and abandoned. The sunlight streamed through the broken windows, highlighting the dust and rust inside. She walked quickly to the main hall, and then down the staircase into the basement. The cool, musty air greeted her, and she shivered with excitement. Everything looked familiar from her previous visit. The white-tiled walls, the metal tables, the jars, and the scattered papers. She moved slowly toward the small hidden door behind the crates. The door was stronger than she expected, with a solid metal frame. Maya gently pushed aside the crates again and examined the handle. She could feel the cool metal under her fingers. Her curiosity was stronger than any fear she felt. With a deep breath, she turned the handle and slowly opened the door. Darkness stretched before her. A narrow staircase led downward, the steps worn but sturdy. Maya switched on her stronger flashlight and began to descend step by step. The air grew colder as she moved down. The faint smell of damp stone and old metal filled her nose. Each step echoed through the hidden passage and shadows danced along the walls. Maya felt a thrill of anticipation. This part of the basement was hidden for a reason, and she wondered what she would find. She imagined many possibilities: a secret laboratory, old storage rooms, or perhaps tools that had never been used. She reminded herself to move carefully and not rush. At the bottom of the staircase, Maya found herself in a room much larger than she had expected. The walls were made of stone and covered with a thin layer of dust. The room had low ceilings, but it stretched far into the darkness. Old crates and boxes were stacked neatly against the walls. Tables and shelves were arranged with precision, unlike the main basement above, which had seemed more open and disorganized. The air was still, but Maya could feel the energy of a place that had once been important. She stepped forward and shined her flashlight across the room. Metal containers, jars, and equipment lined the shelves. Many jars contained preserved samples while others were empty. Maya frowned, wondering what they had been used for. The notebooks on the tables contained handwritten notes and drawings, describing processes and experiments she could not fully understand. Everything in the room seemed to be part of a careful, deliberate plan. Whoever had used this space had done so with thought and attention to detail. Maya walked slowly among the tables, examining each item. She touched some of the jars gently, careful not to disturb anything. She picked up a notebook and began to read. The handwriting was neat, and the notes described steps and procedures for certain processes. Some were detailed, while others included sketches of machines and containers. Maya realized that this hidden basement had been a place of serious study and experimentation. It was not just storage. It had been a workspace for someone who had wanted precise results. Her flashlight beam caught a small door at the far end of the room. Unlike the hidden staircase she had just descended, this door was smaller and reinforced with a thick metal handle. It seemed to lead to an even deeper part of the basement. Maya's curiosity grew stronger. She knew that she had to see what was inside, but she also reminded herself to stay cautious. She carefully examined the door and found no locks, only a solid frame. She gently pushed it open, revealing a narrow corridor beyond. The corridor was dimly lit by the light from her flashlight. The walls were lined with tiles, some cracked and stained with age. The air was colder here, and a faint dripping sound echoed from somewhere deeper inside. Maya stepped cautiously forward, her boots making soft sounds on the stone floor. The corridor seemed to stretch farther than she expected, winding slightly and leading to another room. Her heart raced with excitement. This hidden section of the factory was larger than she had imagined. As she moved through the corridor, Maya noticed markings on the walls. Small symbols and letters had been scratched into the tiles, perhaps by the people who had worked here long ago. They were simple, almost like codes, but Maya could not understand their meaning. She made a note in her notebook, sketching the symbols as best as she could. She felt a sense of connection to the people who had been here before her, imagining their careful work and the secrets they had left behind. At the end of the corridor, Maya found a room that looked like a laboratory. Tables were arranged neatly, and equipment was placed with precision. Metal containers, glass jars, and small machines filled the tables. Notebooks were stacked carefully, each labeled with a date or description. Maya moved closer, examining the items one by one. The room was quiet, but the air felt alive, as if it remembered the people who had worked there. Every detail told a story of dedication and careful study. She picked up a notebook from one of the tables. The pages were filled with detailed notes and diagrams describing processes and experiments. Maya could not understand all of it, but she could see the care and effort that had gone into the work. The people who had used this hidden basement had been meticulous. Maya's curiosity grew even stronger. She wanted to understand everything about this place, but she knew it would take time and patience. Suddenly, Maya noticed a faint light coming from a small opening at the far corner of the room. She walked toward it carefully. It was a small window covered with a layer of dust, but sunlight was filtering through, casting a warm glow on the floor. Maya smiled. The small window reminded her that even in a hidden, secret place there was a connection to the outside world. She felt a sense of wonder and respect for the people who had worked here. Maya spent hours exploring the hidden basement. She took notes, photographed the rooms, and examined the equipment as carefully as she could. Every corner held a new discovery. The arrangement of tables, the careful placement of jars, the detailed notebooks, and the mysterious markings on the walls. She realized that this hidden basement had been a place of great importance, a space where careful work and study had been carried out. As the day wore on, Maya knew she had to leave, but she did not want to. She took one last walk through the hidden rooms, looking at every detail. She felt a deep respect for the place and the people who had once worked here. The hidden basement had revealed just a part of its story, and she knew there were more secrets waiting to be uncovered. She made a promise to herself to return one day, better prepared to continue her exploration. Maya climbed the staircase slowly, feeling the warmth of the sunlight on her face as she emerged from the basement. She looked back at the hidden door and the small staircase she had descended. The factory was quiet, still, and mysterious. She felt a mixture of excitement and respect. The hidden basement had shown her a world that few people would ever see. A world of careful work, curiosity, and secrets. As she walked back along the forest path, Maya's mind replayed the details of the hidden basement. The tables, jars, notebooks, and symbols formed a puzzle in her mind. She realized that every abandoned place had a story, and it was up to someone curious and careful to discover it. Maya felt proud of her courage and her determination to explore the unknown. She knew that the hidden basement had given her an adventure she would never forget. The forest around her seemed more alive than before. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, birds sang, and the breeze whispered through the trees. Maya understood that her journey was just beginning. The abandoned factory held more secrets, and she was determined to uncover them, piece by piece, step by step. The hidden basement had been her first glimpse into a world of mystery and discovery, and she could not wait to continue exploring. Maya smiled as she walked, feeling the thrill of adventure in her heart. She knew that the hidden basement had changed her. It had shown her the excitement of discovery, the joy of curiosity, and the importance of patience. She was ready for the next part of her journey, knowing that every step would bring her closer to uncovering the secrets of the abandoned factory. Maya could not stop thinking about the hidden basement she had discovered in the abandoned factory. Every detail, from the neatly arranged tables to the mysterious notebooks, stayed in her mind. She knew there was more to uncover, and her curiosity pushed her to return. This time she prepared carefully. She brought a stronger flashlight, extra batteries, gloves, and a notebook to write down everything she observed. She wanted to be ready for anything she might find. The forest was quiet as she walked toward the factory, the morning sunlight filtering through the trees. Maya's heart beat with anticipation. She thought about the previous visits, the main hall, the first basement, and the small hidden staircase. Every step had revealed a new secret, and now she was ready to explore the deepest parts of the hidden basement. She felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness, but her determination was stronger than her fear. When she reached the factory, it looked the same as before, silent and abandoned. She pushed open the main door and walked quickly to the staircase leading to the basement. The air grew cooler as she descended, and the musty smell of the hidden rooms surrounded her. She switched on her flashlight and moved carefully down the narrow staircase. Every step made a soft creak that echoed through the hidden passage. Shadows danced on the walls, creating strange shapes in the flickering light. At the bottom, Maya found herself in the large hidden basement. Everything looked familiar: the stone walls, the metal tables, the shelves filled with jars and containers, and the neatly stacked notebooks. She walked slowly, examining each corner. The place felt alive in its own way, as if it remembered the people who had worked there. Maya's curiosity grew with every step. She wanted to understand the purpose of this hidden space and the work that had been done here. She moved toward the far corner of the room, where a small window allowed a faint stream of sunlight to enter. The light illuminated dust particles that floated in the air, creating an almost magical effect. Maya smiled, feeling a sense of wonder. She walked along the tables, examining jars and containers. Some jars had labels with dates and codes, while others were empty. The notebooks contained detailed notes and diagrams. It was clear that whoever had used this basement had been organized and meticulous. As she read through the notes, Maya began to understand a little more. The hidden basement had not only been a storage area, but also a place for careful experiments. The notebooks described processes, measurements, and observations. Some of the notes were simple, while others were complex, showing a thoughtful and deliberate approach to the work. Maya realized that this was a place of study and learning. The people who had worked here had been curious and careful, seeking to understand and improve their methods. Maya's eyes caught something unusual on one of the tables. A small metal box sat neatly in the corner. It was locked with a simple latch, but the metal was clean, unlike the rest of the items in the room. She carefully opened it and found a collection of documents. The papers described procedures and experiments in detail. Maya read through them, fascinated by the precision and care involved. The hidden basement had been a place of knowledge, and she felt honored to witness it. Suddenly, she noticed a faint sound. It was soft, almost like a whisper, echoing from deeper within the hidden basement. Maya froze, her heart beating faster. She realized that the room was empty, yet the sound seemed real. She listened carefully, trying to understand its source. It was only the echo of her own movements, she told herself, but it reminded her that this basement was vast and full of spaces she had not yet explored. She turned her attention to a small door at the far end of the room. Unlike the other doors, this one was reinforced and slightly larger. Maya felt a mixture of curiosity and caution. She approached the door slowly and examined it. The handle was cold and sturdy. With a deep breath, she pushed it open. Beyond it was a narrow corridor, lined with tiles similar to those in the main basement. The air grew colder as she stepped inside, and a faint dripping sound echoed from somewhere far away. The corridor led to another room, larger than she expected. This room looked more like a laboratory than a storage space. Tables were arranged neatly, and equipment filled every surface. Glass jars, metal containers, and measuring tools were organized with precision. Maya's flashlight revealed notebooks and papers stacked carefully on the tables. She realized that this hidden laboratory had been a place of serious study and careful observation. Whoever had worked here had been diligent and focused, leaving behind evidence of their curiosity and intelligence. Maya walked among the tables, examining the items. She noticed symbols and codes scratched into the walls, perhaps as notes or reminders for the people who had worked here. She carefully documented them in her notebook. The more she explored, the more she realized that the hidden basement had been used for work that required attention to detail and patience. It was not random or careless, it was thoughtful and precise. As she moved deeper into the room, Maya noticed a series of charts and diagrams on the walls. They described processes, measurements, and experiments in great detail. Maya studied them carefully. Some of the charts included steps for preparing and analyzing samples. Others described observations and results. She could see that the people who had worked here had been trying to learn and understand, experimenting in ways that were careful, safe, and precise. The hidden basement was a place of discovery and knowledge. Maya felt a growing sense of respect for the people who had worked here. They had dedicated their time and energy to understanding and improving their methods. She realized that the basement was more than just a hidden space. It was a place of learning and innovation. The meticulous notes, carefully arranged tables, and precise equipment all showed a deep commitment to curiosity and careful study. Maya was amazed by their dedication. As she continued to explore, Maya noticed a small shelf with personal items. There were cups, notebooks, and a few small tools that seemed to belong to the workers. She imagined their daily routines, moving carefully among the tables, taking notes, and observing results. The hidden basement was a place of quiet focus and intelligence. Maya felt connected to the people who had been there long ago, as if their dedication and curiosity had left an imprint on the space. Maya spent hours documenting everything she could. She took photographs, wrote notes, and examined each item carefully. Every corner of the hidden basement revealed something new: a jar, a notebook, a symbol, or a piece of equipment. She realized that the basement was a treasure of knowledge, hidden for reasons she could not yet understand. The meticulous organization, careful notes, and precise equipment all showed that this was a place of careful study and thoughtful work. As the day wore on, Maya knew she had to leave, but she was reluctant. She had uncovered so much already, yet there was more to explore. She carefully retraced her steps through the corridor and back into the main hidden basement. She looked around one last time, taking in the details: the tables, jars, notebooks, and equipment. She felt a deep sense of respect and awe for the people who had worked here. The hidden basement had revealed its secrets, and Maya felt privileged to witness them. Finally, she climbed the narrow staircase back to the main hall. The sunlight greeted her as she emerged from the basement. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the warmth and brightness after the cool, mysterious air below. She looked back at the factory, silent and abandoned, yet full of secrets. The hidden basement had shown her a world of curiosity, careful study, and discovery. She knew that she had only seen a part of it, and that more secrets were waiting to be uncovered. As she walked back along the forest path, Maya reflected on her discoveries. The hidden basement had taught her the importance of curiosity, careful observation, and respect for knowledge. She realized that even abandoned places could hold incredible stories, and that patience and attention to detail were keys to uncovering them. Maya felt inspired by the dedication of the people who had worked in the basement, and she was determined to continue exploring and learning. The forest around her seemed more alive than ever. Sunlight filtered through the trees, birds sang, and the breeze whispered through the leaves. Maya understood that her journey was just beginning. The hidden basement had shown her the excitement of discovery and the value of careful observation. She knew that the abandoned factory still held many mysteries, and she was eager to uncover them step by step. Maya smiled as she walked, feeling a sense of accomplishment and wonder. She had discovered a hidden world, full of careful study and curiosity. The basement had revealed its secrets slowly, teaching her the importance of patience, observation, and respect for the past. She felt proud of her courage and determination, knowing that her adventure was far from over. The abandoned factory had more to show, and Maya was ready to uncover every secret it held. Maya walked slowly through the forest, leaving the abandoned factory behind. The sunlight filtered through the tall trees, creating patterns on the ground. The air smelled fresh and alive, in contrast to the cool, musty atmosphere of the hidden basement she had just explored. Her heart still raced from the thrill of discovery, but she also felt calm and peaceful. She had seen something extraordinary, a place that had been hidden for years, and she carried its secrets with her. As she walked, Maya thought about everything she had seen in the factory. The main hall, filled with old machines and rusted tools, had shown her the passage of time and the traces of human activity. The first basement had revealed the careful organization and hard work that had gone on there. The hidden basement had been the most fascinating of all. The neatly arranged tables, jars, notebooks, and strange symbols had told her the story of a place built for careful study, experimentation, and learning. Every detail seemed to speak to her, connecting her with the people who had worked there long ago. Maya's mind replayed the discoveries in vivid detail. She remembered the metal tables covered with jars, some containing preserved samples, others empty. She remembered the neat stacks of notebooks and the diagrams and charts filled with precise measurements. The symbols etched on the walls were still a mystery to her, but she had copied them carefully into her own notebook. She knew that this hidden basement had been more than a storage space. It had been a place of knowledge, curiosity, and meticulous effort. She paused for a moment on the forest path, leaning against a tree. The sun was higher now, and the sounds of birds and insects surrounded her. Maya reflected on how much she had learned from the factory. Even though it was abandoned, it had a story to tell. It was a story of curiosity, of dedication, and of the quiet pursuit of knowledge. Maya felt a deep respect for the people who had worked there. They had left behind more than just objects. They had left a trail of their curiosity, a hidden world that she had been lucky enough to discover. As she continued walking, Maya thought about the hidden door that had led her to the deepest part of the basement. That small staircase had been narrow and dark, but it had led to one of the most fascinating discoveries of her life. She smiled, remembering the careful steps she had taken, the way her flashlight had illuminated the shelves, jars, and notebooks. The hidden basement had been like a secret world, waiting for someone patient and curious enough to find it. Maya felt proud that she had been that person. The forest seemed to embrace her as she walked. The sunlight flickered through the leaves and the wind whispered softly. Maya felt a sense of freedom and wonder. She realized that exploring was not just about finding hidden places. It was about connecting with history, learning from it, and appreciating the effort and thought of those who had come before. The abandoned factory had shown her the value of observation, patience, and careful exploration. Every corner she had explored held a lesson, and she felt richer for the experience. Maya stopped near a small stream that ran through the forest. She knelt down to take a sip of water, enjoying the cool freshness. As she looked at her reflection in the water, she thought about how much she had grown during this adventure. The hidden basement had challenged her curiosity, her carefulness, and her imagination. She realized that discoveries like this were rare, and she felt lucky to have experienced it. Maya promised herself that she would return one day, better prepared, to continue exploring the factory and uncover even more secrets. She walked along the stream for a while, thinking about the people who had worked in the hidden basement. She imagined their daily routines, arranging tables, taking notes, studying samples, and observing results. Maya felt a connection to them, even though she had never met them. Their dedication and careful work had left a mark on the factory, a silent message of curiosity and intelligence. She realized that she had not only explored a hidden place, but had also connected with the human desire to learn and discover. Maya reached a small clearing in the forest and paused again. She looked back toward the direction of the factory, which was now partially hidden by trees and vines. The building seemed quiet, almost as if it were holding its breath. She felt a mixture of excitement and respect. The hidden basement had revealed its secret slowly, but it had also left some mysteries behind. Maya knew that there were still questions to be answered and discoveries to be made. She felt a strong sense of purpose and curiosity, ready to continue her exploration in the future. As she walked further, Maya thought about the notebooks she had photographed and copied. She wanted to study them carefully, and perhaps learn more about the experiments and processes recorded there. Each page contained knowledge and ideas that had been carefully preserved. Maya felt inspired by the attention to detail and the dedication of the people who had created them. The hidden basement had taught her the importance of patience, observation, and respect for the past. The sun was beginning to set, casting a warm golden light over the forest. Maya felt a sense of calm and satisfaction. She had uncovered a secret that had been hidden for years, a place that few people would ever see. The hidden basement had been a world of curiosity, careful study, and meticulous effort. Maya felt proud that she had taken the time to explore it, to observe every detail and to document her discoveries. She reached the edge of the forest and looked back one last time. The abandoned factory was quiet and still, its secrets safe for now. Maya felt a mixture of excitement and mystery. She knew that she would return, but for now she was content to carry the story of the hidden basement in her mind. It was a story of curiosity, dedication, and the thrill of discovery. She smiled, knowing that this adventure had changed her and inspired her to continue exploring and learning. Maya began to walk toward her home, the forest path illuminated by the fading sunlight. She thought about the lessons she had learned, the importance of careful observation, the value of patience, and the connection between past and present. The hidden basement had been more than just a discovery. It had been a journey of understanding and curiosity. She felt grateful for the opportunity to explore such a unique and mysterious place. As night approached, Maya reached the edge of the forest. She paused and looked back one final time. The abandoned factory was hidden now by shadows and trees, but its secrets were safe with her. She felt a deep sense of accomplishment and wonder. The hidden basement had revealed a world of curiosity and careful study, and she had been the one to witness it. Maya knew that her adventure was only the beginning, and that more discoveries awaited her in the future. Maya continued walking, her heart filled with excitement and wonder. She thought about the stories she could share, the notes she had taken, and the photographs she had captured. The hidden basement had shown her a world of careful work, curiosity, and knowledge. She realized that exploration was not just about finding hidden places. It was about connecting with the past, learning from it, and appreciating the effort of those who had come before. As she reached her home, Maya felt a sense of peace and satisfaction. The adventure had been long and challenging, but it had also been rewarding and inspiring. She knew that she had discovered something truly special, a hidden basement full of secrets and knowledge. Maya smiled, feeling proud of her courage and curiosity. She promised herself that she would continue exploring, learning, and uncovering the mysteries of the world. That night, as Maya lay in bed, she thought about the abandoned factory and the hidden basement. She remembered every detail: the tables, jars, notebooks, symbols, and charts. She could see the careful work of the people who had once been there. Their dedication and curiosity had left a lasting impression, and Maya felt honored to have witnessed it. She drifted to sleep with a sense of excitement for future adventures, knowing that the hidden basement would remain a source of inspiration and wonder for her. The next morning, Maya woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. She had learned so much from her exploration, and she was eager to continue. The abandoned factory and the hidden basement had shown her the importance of patience, careful observation, and curiosity. She knew that there were more mysteries to uncover, and she felt ready to face them with courage and determination. Maya's adventure had changed her. She felt more confident, more curious, and more connected to the world around her. The hidden basement had taught her that even abandoned and forgotten places could hold incredible stories. She realized that exploration was not just about physical discovery, but also about understanding, learning, and connecting with the past. Maya smiled, knowing that her journey of curiosity and discovery would continue for many years to come. As she prepared for the day ahead, Maya thought about the abandoned factory one last time. The hidden basement had been a world of mystery, careful study, and knowledge. She felt grateful for the opportunity to explore it and learn from it. The experience had inspired her, taught her valuable lessons and filled her with excitement for future adventures. Maya knew that the secrets of the hidden basement would stay with her forever, guiding her curiosity and inspiring her to explore the unknown. With a deep breath and a smile, Maya stepped outside, ready for the next adventure. The forest.